Onto the mica powder mug. Honestly, I thought this one was going to be a piece of cake. It wasn't hard exactly, but it did take an extra coat of colored resin to get good coverage all over the entire mug, which means an extra full day of drying time. Just the way the colors naturally moved on the mug left me with some lighter spots, and I like a good solid color on my mug. Even when I did the blue mug for Nicole, I had to put a second coat of colored resin on it to get a really good solid base layer. But it works out in the end. You don't need to cover it in a clear coat of resin before you add the decal, so you'll make up for the time there. I use about 20 milliliters of liquid resin per layer. So that's 10 milliliters of the resin and 10 milliliters of the hardener. I'm using the tail end of a couple of bottles here, so I'm not actually using a measuring cup on this one. I usually reuse my measuring cups quite a bit, or my stir cups quite a bit, when I'm using clear resin, because you can see how much it fills up, and like the little bit that gets left in the cup, even after you scrape it out and you pour some in your mold, after a few minutes or so, everything that's on the walls will kind of sink down to the bottom, and eventually it starts filling up your stir cup. And so if I'm using clear resin, I'll usually keep using those until it's, I don't know, a quarter of the way filled up to the cup. But on this one, since I'm adding mica powder, I know it's going to be a little bit more messy, and I don't need the measurements marks on the side of the cup because I can see that I have the same amount left in each of my bottles, and there's only about 20 milliliters of each. So I'm using just a regular plastic cup for this, but normally you would want to use a measured stir cup for this. But again, like before, just add your resin in, mix it slowly for 3 to 4 minutes. It's really important that you mix it the full time, because if you don't mix it the full time, the components don't have enough time to react well, and your resin won't set as quickly on your mug. I'm just going to go ahead and use these bottles up. I'm going to have a little bit of extra at the end, but that's okay. I've got a mold ready that I plan to fill it with. It doesn't really matter if you add the mica powder before you stir it or after you stir it, unless you're trying to do like a specific swirl where you only want the color slightly mixed. But you can just add the mica powder in right now if you're doing a solid color like I am. I really love these little plastic stir sticks. I clearly did not get my hand quite in the shot on this one. Sorry about that. But this little stir stick is covered in resin from my previous stir. But once you let it hard, it just kind of peels right off, and then you've got basically a brand new stir stick. Also, another thing that I like about this stir stick is the shape of it. It's got kind of like a weird, I don't know, bean shape to it or something, but it really helps to mix the mixture up without adding a lot of air bubbles. It's one of my favorite ways to stir it. A lot of times you'll get those little disposable sticks with your set when you buy the resin, but I definitely like these plastic stir sticks better. I recommend them 100%. A little mica powder usually goes a long way. You don't need to use too much for this. I would say probably about maybe a half a teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon is all. I used about a full teaspoon when I did the blue Nicole mug, and I still had to put a second coat of this stuff on. So about a half a teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon of mica powder is probably sufficient. Just make sure it's really mixed in well. And then you apply it just like you would resin to the mug for the glitter mug. First, we've got some stirring to do, so I'll take that time to tell you a little bit about this mug. I made a whole bunch of these mugs for some close family and friends just to get some good practice, and I just fell in love making them. I started out making 4 and ended up making, I think, 23 or 24 of them. Anyways, I had a blast making them, but almost all of them were glitter, and I really wanted to make one for my stepdad, who was there when I was making a lot of these mugs and thought that they were fun, but isn't really a big glitter guy. So I decided that I would make one with mica powder for him. He's a big tree guy, and they live on 10 acres out in northern Michigan, and they've got a pond with all these beautiful trees behind it, and they've got the most beautiful white birch back there. And at the time I was making these mugs, when I was walking around the pond one day, I found that there was a piece of birch on the ground. I thought, oh my gosh, how perfect would that be to add to the mug? So I collected a few different scraps, and then I picked out the best piece that I liked of the birch bark, and I decided to add it to this mug. Turns out birch bark is not the easiest thing to work with or adhere to a mug. It definitely takes a few extra coats of resin to seal, but it was definitely worth it in the end. It turned out amazing, and my stepdad loves it and uses his mug almost every day. You may notice during the mixing process that it gets a little bit, as the ingredients combine, it gets a little bit more soft, more runny. It's not a huge difference, but once you've made a bunch of mugs, you kind of start to like learn the consistency and you're like, okay, yeah, now it's ready to use. But it usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes of mixing, and then use the spatula to paint it on just like the other mugs. I originally used about a half a teaspoon of mica powder on this, and then when I was painting it on, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, there's a lot of low spots on there, and I was really trying to do this in one coat. So I ended up scraping it back off, putting it back into the mug, because you do have like 30 minutes to work with this stuff until it starts to harden up. And then I added another quarter teaspoon of mica powder. And it did make it a little bit darker, but it still, there was a lot of low spots. And it just, no matter what I did, it just seemed to need a second coat. So I would use about a half to 3/4 of a teaspoon of mica powder for yours, and just plan on using a second coat. And when I say low spots, I don't mean low spots with the resin, I mean with the color, because the color, no matter how much you mix it, it still seems to just kind of like naturally move and swirl a little bit on the mug while it's spinning. And so even though the resin's there, the color kind of separates a little bit. Which, that's actually kind of a good thing because it gives it a really natural look. You can make it look almost like it's wood, or if it's a swirly outer space type of design or something like that. It does give some really cool patterns when it does its thing and swirls about the mug. And speaking of swirling, depending on how you want yours to swirl, you might want to apply it in a different pattern, like going around the mug the 90 degrees from the direction that I'm applying it. Since I knew I was going to put birch bark on this, I wanted it to kind of look not like a tree, but kind of almost like a tree, I guess. So I did a lot of vertical strokes when I was applying the resin. Unlike the printed decal mug that only needed one coat of resin, we are not going to tape the ends off on this one. The painted decal mug only had one coat of resin on it, so it was nice to get that crisp, clean edge with that one. But with this one, if you have that crisp, clean edge, there's going to be so many coats of resin on there that it's going to be a sharp edge. And you want it to be a smooth transition from where the resin is to where the stainless steel on the mug is, or the end of your mug. So go ahead and paint that resin right up to the edge, even overlapping slightly onto the stainless steel. It's okay if you get some on there because it's not going to dry right away, and you're going to have plenty of time to wipe it off after you've finished covering your mug with this coat of resin. As you can see, when I'm dribbling it on, it does cover the mug. It's a good, nice coating there, but that's a lot of resin, and you wouldn't want to have it that thick all over your whole mug. When you have the resin that thick, when it's spinning and drying, sometimes it doesn't dry right, and you can get like a ripple effect on your mug, so it's really important that you are applying thin coats of resin. Oh, you can see right there, I picked up a little piece of plastic resin on my my spatula that was hard from a previous layer. And it makes like a little streak when you do it. You definitely want to, if you notice that, you definitely want to pull that off right away. Otherwise, you're going to end up with little streaks on your mug. Interesting to do the mica powder mugs because you get to see how the resin looks when you apply it directly to the mug. When it's clear, it's hard to see how it does that, where it pools, the kind of stroke marks that it makes and things like that. It definitely looks a lot more messy with the mica powder, which is another reason why that second coat helps. It's kind of like putting on nail polish, you know, just that second coat just helps give it that more crisp, clean, solid look. You definitely want to really get up there on the edges and cover that line um, where the body of the mug meets the stainless steel ends. If you leave some of that showing, it's going to stand out so bad. I spent way too much time trying to get this mug to look right on the first coat. Definitely don't make the same mistake as me, because it's going to turn out the same way at the end either way. And you're either going to piss away a bunch of time or not piss away a bunch of time. So don't be like me and spend 10 minutes trying to make it perfect when it won't be perfect. You should be able to get your first coat on in under 5 minutes. If you're applying your strokes in the same direction, be careful that you don't get like a pool up at the bottom of your mug. You might need to go the opposite direction and brush away from the edge up towards the center of the mug, or vice versa. You may notice that I left the mug spinner going while I applied this one. On the other ones, a lot of times I don't. Normally I'll stop the spinner, but with the mica powder ones, the pattern from the mica powder itself will start to like sag and create weird lines that I didn't really want. When the mug spinner wasn't spinning, having it spin just kind of helped let it spread out a little bit more slowly and not like drip off of the mug and cause drip marks. All right, look at that beauty. Now you may notice at this stage the mug looks like crap and the ends look even worse. But don't worry, we're going to fix that. First, the ends. To fix the ends, all you need to do is grab a tissue, fold it up so you've got a nice straight line of an edge on your tissue, and then carefully hold the tissue against the mug at the end where you want the line to be. The mug turner will do the rest. It's important that you do this right when you finish the mug. Don't let it spin for 5 or 10 minutes first and then come back and do it. You want to do it right away. And the reason for that is that, one, it can stick to the silver on the mug and be a little bit more difficult to clean off or leave you with a weird film on the surface. But the other reason is we really wanted to have a smooth graduated edge where the resin finishes on the edges of your mug. Remember, this stuff is self-leveling, so if you catch it when it's still wet and you wipe a nice clean edge like this, it'll slowly spread out and give you that automatic graduated edge with no effort. Now the body of the mug looking like crap, we're going to have to fix that one on the next coat of resin. Although some of that will get fixed as this layer levels out. I've got a little bit of resin left over from this pour, so I decided to pour it into my stick mold. Here it is after I've applied the second coat. Like I said earlier, I made this mug for my stepdad. Him and my mom live out in Michigan, and this is a picture of their pond, and there's the birch trees that I got the bark off of for this mug. To do the bark, I did a clear layer of resin, and then I picked out a nice, thin, beautiful piece of birch bark and just applied it on top of the resin, and then I used my spatula to kind of paint more resin on the top. After that coat dried completely, then I added the gym decal. The ends were definitely the trickiest part of this because there's a lot of texture to it, and I had to put like 4 clear coats of resin in total, including the end coats, after I put the decal on, to make like a smooth transition so that you couldn't feel the edges of the bark. Unlike the glitter mugs, your mica powder mug will be nice and smooth and ready for a decal without having to do a clear coat of resin first. After you apply your decal, you'll need to put a resin coat on top of that, but watch the decal section for tips on how to do that.